How's it going? This is my discussion analysis of how to avoid death by PowerPoint. I really thought this TED Talk was going to be about how to avoid death, and this man was going to tell us how to do so through a PowerPoint. But really, it was about how to avoid death by PowerPoint, as in how to avoid PowerPoint death. I think I'll use this in my next PowerPoint presentation that I have to do. But honestly, I like to use GIFs that I find online. GIFs? Did I just say GIFs? Wait, what do I usually say? I don't even remember what I say anymore. Is this my existential crisis? Am I going through my crisis right now? I thought it was a pretty interesting presentation. He mentions that having a lot of words on the screen and presenting at the same time is not ideal because people are trying to read what's on the screen as well as listen to what you're saying. It ends up just being like, let me read this as fast as I can, but wait, what is the person actually saying? So it gets really chaotic. 4 things that we have to focus on are moving objects, signaling colors such as red, orange, yellow, Roy G. Biv, the whole rainbow plus many other fancy colors, contrast-rich objects, and big objects. The most important part of our PowerPoint should also be the biggest part of our PowerPoint. So when we have titles that are humongous and the information is small, we're mainly focusing on the title because that's the biggest thing that we can see. If we make our titles smaller and our information bigger, we're more likely to focus on the content of the slide instead of what the title is. I really liked when he said, we have been, and we will always be the presentation. Basically saying that you can have a few visual aids on your screen, a few words and images. It's not about how much information we can put on a single slide and hope that our audience will read everything and be like, oh, I totally understand. It's more about how the presenter, we as the individual, take that information and present it just through the moment. Not like, yeah, just read the screen and we read off the screen, but like, yeah, we know what we're talking about. When really we're just reading the words off the screen and telling it to the audience when they could just read it themselves. That's why we want to limit the amount of sentences on the screen. And this is in hopes that we, the presenter, will say the information out loud without just reading it. The presenter says that if there are more than 6 objects on a screen, people have to use 500% more energy and cognitive resources to understand what's on the PowerPoint. When he did that exercise of counting how many balls are on a screen, we had to think more rather than just seeing, yeah, there's a couple balls on the screen. There was interaction with the audience as well as, oh shoot, we have to pay attention now. So it was good for both ends. At the end of his presentation, he summarized everything that he said with a crossword puzzle, right? So the audience could be like, oh yeah, I totally remember what he said. So it was 1 message per slide. Contrast can steer our focus. So instead of having so many words on the screen, we can do a little fade in text effect and kind of keep our audience engaged, like, oh shoot, where's the next thing going? What is he highlighting next? Instead of having everything on the screen, we do it one at a time. So it's like, oh, hey, this is a fancier presentation because we're using the effects that come with this software. Size can steer our focus. Like I mentioned before, how the presenter mentioned, title should be smaller and information should be bigger. Long sentences on slides should be avoided if we're also presenting verbally. And 6 objects per slide. I haven't had to do a PowerPoint presentation in a while, so lucky me. Mainly it's just with my words, and I guess you can use hand gestures like I'm doing now, making it really exciting and enticing for you to pay attention to what I'm saying, because I've got hand gestures going on, and I'm making it really enticing for you to listen to what I'm saying, because I'm using a lot of hand gestures. The next time I have to present with a PowerPoint, I'll incorporate all of those things that I mentioned earlier into it and see how it helps me engage with my audience better, get a few laughs, get a few chuckles. Unless it's sad, then maybe some tears. Thanks for watching.